In October of 2018, a gray, spider-like silhouetted vessel crossed the waters from California to Hawaii in a seemingly ordinary trip. However, the Sea Hunter autonomous unmanned surface vehicle is anything but. Thanks to groundbreaking technology 10 years in the making, the U.S. Navy's vessel can traverse the oceans for months at a time without the interference of a single crew member. The revolutionary vessel is part of the Navy's plan for the future of sea warfare, as Sea Hunter's possibilities are endless. Still, at least one competing nation is already building its own copycat version, so the clock is ticking down fast. In early spring of 2016, the United States military unveiled and christened their latest experimental warship, Sea Hunter, an autonomous vessel capable of operating for months without a single crew member. The ship is part of the Anti-Submarine Continuous Trail Unmanned Vessel Program, or ACTIV, developed under the Navy's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency as far back as 2010. Built by engineering company Leidos, Sea Hunter is a 132-foot vessel unmanned trimaran made with carbon composites and powered by diesel engines. With a sleek, spider-like silhouette, a narrow hull, and 2 outriggers, the Sea Hunter is a prototype of what could become a new class of warships for the U.S. Navy that relies on artificial intelligence instead of a crew or any human interaction, not even by remote control. To achieve this, the ship is equipped with navigation and piloting sensors, electro-optic systems, and a long and short-range radar capable of tracking diesel submarines at extreme depths for months at a time. The vessel also has an international ship tracking program known as the Automatic Identification System. According to program manager Scott Littlefield, the unarmed ship's satellite-based autonomy was the most important and the most complex technical challenge, stating, quote, "You really don't want that to be a remote-controlled vessel. You want it to be fairly autonomous so that it can do things like obstacle avoidance on its own without being joysticked around by a person." The technology in the ACTIV is aimed to improve the ability to detect and engage with diesel-electric submarines, a quieter and cheaper alternative to nuclear-powered ones, as well as to negate the threat of enemy ships building large numbers. When operational, the ACTIV will keep constant communication with other ships and aircraft through a satellite link. If they are not deemed an immediate threat, the ACTIV will still be able to shadow a potentially dangerous submarine in order to deter it from acting aggressively, potentially even forcing it back to its home port. The vessels will be unarmed, but if an enemy submarine is detected, they will immediately notify other armed naval assets to pursue it. Afterward, they will report back on the situation and their condition while their computers continue to identify other ships and try to anticipate what they will do next. This way, the ACTIVs will offer anti-submarine tactics all at 1/10 of the cost of a standard staff diesel submarine. And while the unarmed ship was initially conceived as solely a submarine hunter, several military planners claim that the vessel's development has evolved into a flexible platform, as the modular design can be refitted for other roles, including intelligence, reconnaissance, and surveillance missions. 2 decades ago, United States aircraft carriers were the most unstoppable force in the oceans. However, America's naval power is currently being challenged by China's Navy, particularly in the South China Sea, as the nation has been investing heavily in modern submarines. To maintain America's naval superiority over possible opponents like China and Russia, the Pentagon developed a so-called third offset strategy, which includes the ACTIV program. The prototype's development fits such interests, and the U.S. military's latest economic and technological focus in developing uncrewed vehicles and drones. As an uncrewed vessel, Sea Hunter will cost $20,000 per day to operate, in contrast with the average cost of a guided missile destroyer with anti-submarine warfare features, which runs at about $700,000 per day. As a new facet of naval surface warfare, the United States Navy could now trade a small number of capable yet high-cost assets for large numbers of unmanned platforms at a fraction of the cost. According to Fred Kennedy, director of DARPA's Tactical Technology Office, this project has been a long time coming. Quote, "The U.S. military has talked about the strategic importance of replacing king and queen pieces on the maritime chessboard with lots of pawns, and ACTIV is a first step toward doing exactly that." The April 2016 commissioning ceremony marked Sea Hunter's official transition from a DARPA-led research and construction project to an open-water test phase performed in conjunction with the U.S. Navy's Office of Naval Research, or ONR. During the summer, the vessel was submitted to a trial in which the Sea Hunter successfully executed a multi-waypoint mission without a person directing course or speed change. The vessel completed several performance tests, either meeting or surpassing performance objectives ranging from speed, maneuverability, stability, seakeeping, acceleration, deceleration, fuel consumption, and mechanical systems reliability in the open ocean. The initial sensor data was analyzed by Leidos to ensure the Sea Hunter's proficiency, as well as to find any errors or needed adjustments. In the fall of 2016, the prototype vessel departed from San Diego, California, to begin a 2-year trial period of at-sea operational tests led by DARPA and ONR, with the objective to study Sea Hunter's features, including the sensors and autonomy suite. A portion of the trials also consisted of proof-of-concept demonstrations to test the vessel's flexibility while switching amongst modular payloads. Between February and September of 2017, Sea Hunter successfully completed 3 progressively challenging tests involving the installed suites and features to use them in operationally realistic scenarios that comply with the international regulations for preventing collisions at sea. DARPA's Anti-Submarine Warfare Continuous Trail Unmanned Vessels 2-year testing program came to an end when the organization handed over the Sea Hunter prototype to the Office of Naval Research in early 2018. Sea Hunter's latest known feat occurred late that year, when the prototype became the first unmanned vessel to ever successfully navigate back and forth from San Diego, California to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, without a single crew member on board. However, the achievement was not made public until a January 31, 2019 press release by Leidos. In the document, both Leidos and the Navy stated that during the 5,157-mile trip, personnel aboard an escort ship periodically boarded Sea Hunter to check the electrical and propulsion systems without intervention. Leidos Defense Group President Jerry Pisano believes that the Sea Hunter program is unlike any other in the world, and the United States is the leading force in unmanned, fully autonomous naval ship design and production. According to Pisano, quote, "The recent long-range mission is the first of its kind and demonstrates to the U.S. Navy that autonomy technology is ready to move from the developmental and experimental stages to advanced mission testing." Since then, the ONR has continued developing the revolutionary vessel, which is expected to become the first of a new class of unmanned vessels, able to traverse thousands of miles without human interaction. In addition, the project was renamed the Medium Displacement Unmanned Surface Vehicle. Alexander Wallon, a program manager at the agency's Technical Technology Office, has claimed that Sea Hunter's transfer from DARPA to ONR was a significant milestone in the Navy's large-scale USV technology and autonomy capabilities. As to whether other nations believe in the potential of this powerful vessel, footage taken in China in 2020 seems to confirm that the nation is building a set of their own active vehicles with almost the exact same characteristics, proving that we have only seen the beginning. The U.S. Navy Sea, Air, and Land, or SEAL teams, are one of the best-known special operations organizations in the world. Still, within that small community lies a smaller group trained in niche, old-school, commando-style missions performed aboard a particular vessel, the SEAL Delivery Vehicle, or SDV. Powered by electricity, this small fleet of mini-submarines, not much larger than a standard shower, can strike or carry special operations officers behind enemy lines for clandestine missions. Mostly invisible to even the most advanced radars, the SDVs can reach places that standard vessels simply cannot. After hours of slow, calculated movement in pitch-black darkness, the 4 crew members aboard an SDV swim the last stretch from the sea to the beach, ready to strike the enemy when it least expects it. Underwater special operations can be tricky, as full-size submarines can't operate properly in shallower waters. Scuba gear requires more oxygen than can be contained in a standard tank, and swimming can leave even the most aptly trained soldier too exhausted to finish the mission. A solution for the combatant submersible problem dates all the way back to World War II, when the Italian Navy created a canoe concept named slow-running torpedo. Then, after discovering the vehicle operating in European waters, the British Navy copied the design, creating the Sleeping Beauty motorized submersible canoe. The water vehicle was then adopted by the Office of Strategic Services Maritime Unit, an intelligence agency of the United States during the conflict. However, despite arduous training and exercises with Sleeping Beauty, it was never actually deployed for combat operations. Moreover, the post-war underwater demolition teams adopted the technology as a one-man submersible vehicle in 1947, but it never reached its full military potential. Nevertheless, the failed project substantiated and characterized the need for improved and expanded underwater capabilities. Thus, as the United States joined the Vietnam conflict in the early 1970s, small crafts were used off the northern coast for combat and reconnaissance operations, and the story of the modern manned submersible vehicles began. The modern version of the underwater swimmer vehicle is the United States Navy SEAL Delivery Vehicle, or SDV. Designed for deployment and combat use by the underwater demolition and SEAL teams, the SDV Mark VII entered service in 1972 after a 5-year testing period. However, Mark VIII, commissioned in 1983, is the model still in use today. Designed to be much larger than its predecessor, and to move more cargo and personnel, the Mark VIII SDV is propelled by silver-zinc rechargeable batteries. Because the vehicles are fully electric, SDVs are extremely difficult to detect with a passive sonar, and their 15.4-foot size makes the submarine hard to spot with other means. Equipped with propulsion, navigation, communication, and life support, the Mark VIII SDV can also carry up to 4 fully equipped Navy SEALs sitting upright, including a pilot, co-pilot, and 2 more. While the pilot is usually an enlisted operator, while the navigator is an officer, roles can switch depending on skill, mission, and firepower. Meanwhile, the SEALs inside the SDV rely on rebreathers for air supply, and they are supplemented by compressed air tanks aboard the vehicle. Ultimately, the SDV is the perfect chariot for clandestine and covert operations as a quiet and hard-to-detect vehicle that can be launched from the water via submarines or surface ships, as well as from land and even via helicopter. Operations inside an SDV are not for the faint of heart, nor the claustrophobic. The passenger compartment aboard an SDV is small, cramped, and almost pitch black. Several SEALs describe riding inside the vehicle as being locked inside a little black coffin deep under the water. According to a 2011 estimate, out of 2,600 Navy SEALs, only 230 are trained to operate the SDVs. This highly selective group of SEAL delivery vehicle teams specializes in 3 primary missions: underwater insertion and extraction of special operations troops, special underwater operations, and maritime reconnaissance. While not a primary mission, SDVs can also support the Naval Special Warfare Development Group. More commonly known as SEAL Team 6, the group specializes in counterterrorism and hostage rescues, and uses the SDV to secretly transport assaulters closer to a target. Throughout the years, the 25 Mark VIII SDV models in existence have been of great value in enabling SEAL teams to land on shores inaccessible to standard submarines, with a more significant degree of stealth than any other vehicles, including surface craft and helicopters. Still, the SDV is not without weaknesses. With an endurance of up to 12 hours, it has a range of only 18 nautical miles with a diving team, or 36 without, and can be affected by sea state, water temperature, payload, and other factors, often hindering operations. The SDV teams were activated in the early 1980s. Today, the SDV is deployed with SEAL Delivery Vehicle Team 1, or SDVT-1, based in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, operating on behalf of the Central Command and Pacific Command in the Middle East and Indian and Pacific Oceans. The second SEAL Delivery Vehicle Team, SDVT-2, is based in Little Creek, Virginia, and it is responsible for operations in the Atlantic and European Command and Southern Command, primarily focused on supporting the activities of the Navy's 6th Fleet. Mark 8 SDVs first saw combat during the 1990 Gulf War, where they performed mine reconnaissance and demolition missions. During the Iraq War at the turn of the 21st century, SDVs were also used to secure offshore oil and gas terminals, including hydrographic reconnaissance of the crucial Al-Basra and Khor al-Amaya oil terminals. During these missions, SDV SEALs spent several hours taking pictures and surveying Iraqi activity on both platforms before safely returning to their boats, helping America seize the terminals without casualties. Then, in 2003, SEALs using SDVs swam ashore along the Somali coastline and emplaced Cardinals, covert surveillance cameras designed to monitor likely target locations and spot the enemy. Still, many more missions remain classified, as is standard practice with the United States Navy sea, air, and land teams. In addition to serving with the United States, the Special Boat Service of the United Kingdom Special Forces operates and owns 3 Mark 8 Mod 1 vehicles of their own. The SEAL delivery vehicle offers a niche yet highly valuable capability. As tensions with China and Russia continue to rise, SDVs are slowly but surely becoming increasingly useful at both tactical and strategic levels. In the event of a conflict with China, SDV teams could be able to transport Navy SEALs closer to enemy harbors and other strategic targets, such as the anti-access area denial in the South China Sea, a maritime strategy designed to deny freedom of movement to any other naval forces. SDVs can also unilaterally attack enemy warships in the harbor by placing limpet mines on ships and detonating devices that can block the entrance and stop traffic. The vehicle can also operate near enemy shores, place sensors, and reconnoiter the area without being noticed, sending valuable information and intelligence back to headquarters. While the workforce of the SDV teams is the Mark 8, there are rumors that its days are almost over. With its successor, the Mark 11 Shallow Water Combat Submersible, or SWCC, currently going through final trials, the future of the SDV seems clear. The vehicle has several upcoming upgrades, including a significant increase in operational range and payload, advanced sensors, better navigation systems, and a new command and control structure that allows for the easy integration of new technologies. Mark 11 will also be approximately 23 feet long and designed to carry 2 crew members, being a pilot and a navigator, and a 4-person combat diver team. According to a United States Special Operations Command brief, SDV submersibles numbers 1 through 4 have already been delivered, while planned deliveries for mini-submarines numbers 5 through 10 are scheduled for the next few years to begin government acceptance testing. It's 2045, and beneath the waves of the American coast, as the waters heat up with conflict reminiscent of 100 years before, a group of Columbia-class submarines, the world's most advanced submarine, moves silently, but with purpose. Suddenly, intelligence comes in. A rival nation has launched a surprise assault, and one of the Columbias is the closest asset, already in position, unseen, and ready. With a command, the submarine adjusts its course, utilizing her pièce de résistance, an X-shaped stern for rapid, agile maneuvering through underwater terrain that would challenge any other vessel. In moments, they're in position. The captain gives the order, and Columbia's missile tubes come to life, once held in reserve for a moment everyone hoped would never come. With America at a crossroads, the skies have the vigilance of strategic bombers. On the ground, an array of land-based missiles stands ready to respond at a moment's notice. But America's one true powerhouse guardian lies in the ocean's depths. In January 2024, the U.S. Navy opened the new year with a bang when, during the first week of the year, the spotlight was on the delivery of the stern section of the first Columbia-class submarine to General Dynamics Electric Boat. The journey of this critical piece covered 400 miles aboard the Holland barge from Virginia to Rhode Island. It marked a pivotal step in the construction of the first of her class, the USS District of Columbia, set to spearhead a fleet meant to renew the backbone of America's maritime might. As soon as images of the submarine's stern section were released, they captured the attention of military technology enthusiasts and experts across various online platforms. Notably, it wasn't just any stern. This was an X-shaped design. Submarines maneuver underwater using engines for forward movement and a rudder for side-to-side steering. They adjust depth using diving planes at the front and back of the vessel. Traditional subs use a cruciform design, with horizontal and vertical planes controlled by a few rods for basic maneuvers. But the Columbia class adopts an X-shaped stern, offering enhanced control with 4 separate planes, each with its own rod, allowing simultaneous pitch and yaw adjustment. The design was pioneered by the Swedish Kockums shipyard and Swedish Navy, where the X-shaped stern operated exceedingly well in the notoriously difficult-to-navigate Baltic waters. This choice diverges from the traditional configuration seen in contemporary American submarines, as it's the first one designed for a U.S. submarine in 6 decades, with the USS Albacore featuring it all the way back in the 1960s. This design, once complex but made feasible with modern computing, allows for more precise movements, and now the X-shaped stern is being adopted by many global powers. However, the choice is not merely aesthetic, but is filled with benefits, and hints at what the United States Navy believes is the short-term future of undersea warfare. There are some physical benefits to the X-shaped stern. First, without a long rudder below, there's a smaller chance of it hitting the sea bottom, while it also allows easier access from swimmer delivery vehicles, or SDVs, from entering or exiting the sub's dry deck shelter. Diverging from traditional designs, the X-shaped stern on submarines integrates 4 independently controlled planes. This unique arrangement facilitates enhanced agility and precision in underwater navigation by offering superior control over vertical and horizontal movements, improving maneuverability and reducing hydrodynamic drag. The design also reduces the chance of an accidental dive, allowing faster speeds at lower depths. With the other configuration, if the stern plates lost hydraulic power, the weight of the yoked planes could cause them to reposition, causing a jam that could send a sub into a full dive below cruise depth. Stern plane jam is one of the major theories of the tragic USS Thresher submarine disaster that in 1963 resulted in her loss and all 129 crew members during deep diving tests. To top it all off, it is also crucial for stealth. By reducing the submarine's noise signature, crucial for evading detection, the X-shaped stern optimizes water flow around the propulsor, minimizing turbulence and sound, a vital element for maintaining the element of surprise and ensuring operational security in hostile environments. If a submarine cannot be seen or heard, it can't be found, attacked, or destroyed. With these state-of-the-art capabilities, designers are set to ensure the Columbia class is survivable throughout its 40-year lifespan, and remain ready, if necessary, for the precise delivery of nuclear warheads by the United States Navy. The Columbia class is an upcoming type of subsurface ballistic nuclear, or SSBN, the first of the type being built by the United States Navy since the 1990s. When finished, the Columbia class, currently under construction by General Dynamics Electric Boat, will be the world's most advanced SSBN, and at 20,810 tons and a length of 580 feet, the largest submarine ever built by the American Navy. Each submarine will be fitted with 16 tubes for launching Trident II D5 ballistic missiles. Starting with the 9th model, they will come with an even more upgraded ballistic missile, the D5LE-2. A joint American and British effort, being promoted as the most advanced ballistic missile across the globe, the D5LE-2 is capable of striking several targets simultaneously and features a celestially aided inertial navigation system, ensuring precision without relying on GPS. According to both navies, working together will result in savings of hundreds of millions of dollars. Notably, instead of traditional mechanical systems, these submarines convert nuclear-generated energy directly into electricity to power an electric propulsion motor, offering quieter operation and potentially greater efficiency. With this, the Columbia submarines will be able to sail at speeds in excess of 20 knots and operate at depths of around 800 feet. The Columbia class will take over the main role of submarine presence in the United States Navy's strategic nuclear force, as it is set to replace the Ohio class of ballistic missile submarines, or boomers, which are nearing the end of their service lives and set to be decommissioned 1 per year beginning in the late 2020s. Following a thorough study of how many submarines would be needed for the United States strategic nuclear force, the Navy has a total of 12 submarines planned, with construction of the lead boat beginning all the way back in 2021. The ballistic missile submarines are part of the United States nuclear triad, which also consists of land-based missiles and strategic bombers, as an integral three-pronged strategic defense to ensure national security through deterrence. Out of all three, submarines are deemed the most stealthy and also the most capable of survival if faced with a potential nuclear disaster. Within the triad, the submarine's mission is to keep its position a secret while actively seeking out and engaging enemy targets with its strategic ballistic missile platform. The U.S. Navy's powerful submarine fleet possesses around 70% of the nation's operational nuclear deterrent arsenal, which makes vessels like the Columbia-class a vital asset for American security. And they have the price tag to prove it. According to the United States Navy's Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Michael Gilday, the future of warfare is submarine-based. Because of this, the Columbia-class is designed to be the largest and most complex submarine ever procured by the service, with a planned budget of $132 million. Overall, it is also one of the largest projects of the entire U.S. Armed Forces in recent years, second only to the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. While the Navy initially planned to produce the first of her class in a record 78 months, delays with its design, quality, and materials made the shortened timeline impossible. Still, the 2024 photographs of the vessel's X-shaped stern marked a step in the right direction. Because the Ohio class, which dates all the way back to the Cold War, will begin retiring in the late 2020s, the Navy wants the first Columbia class to be ready for patrol by the fourth quarter of 2030. Currently, there are rumors of extending the life of some of the later Ohio-class submarines in order to leave more wiggle room in this schedule. This tight timeline, coupled with the class's importance within the nuclear triad, has made the Navy put this project at the top of their list, impacting the production and development of their projects in favor of this one. However, considering the uptick of geopolitical instability across the globe, sustaining America's nuclear deterrent is vital, and the scheduled introduction of the Columbia class is more critical and timely than ever. With a 4-decade-long planned service life, the United States Navy is prepping the vessels with all features possible for potential future conflicts. As the largest submarine the service has ever created, and with this unique X-shaped stern, in addition to the world's greatest weapons, the Columbia-class nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines are a worthy replacement for the current Ohio-class SSBN boomers. Amidst the ever-evolving landscape of maritime warfare, one unmanned underwater vehicle stands apart: the Orca, the world's first extra-large unmanned underwater vehicle. Silent and unstoppable, this state-of-the-art sea drone glides effortlessly through the water, driven by an advanced diesel-electric propulsion system. The vehicle possesses the unrivaled ability to embark on autonomous missions that span months, forever altering the course of naval operations. As the culmination of years of innovation, research, and strategic vision, forging a formidable weapon that surpassed all that came before, the Orca's true power lies in its astonishing versatility. By stealthily deploying mines, the Orca can create strategic choke points, disrupt enemy movements, and alter the course of battle. The drone can also infiltrate hostile territory, gathering vital intelligence with unmatched stealth and cutting-edge sensors, providing the upper hand to its commanders. The Orca can even become a devastating force, as its payload bay, equipped with vertical launch systems, can allow it to unleash a relentless barrage of missiles upon surface and land targets. As the dawn of a new era of undersea combat emerges, the United States Navy's Orca XLUUV stands at the forefront, poised to revolutionize the very fabric of maritime superiority. Within the last 2 decades, naval drones have emerged as crucial assets in modern maritime operations, reshaping the capabilities and strategies of naval forces all over the world. Within the United States Navy, several advanced unmanned underwater vehicles are in different production stages to expand the branch's undersea capabilities. Among these are the Snakehead, the largest submarine-launched UUV, the Razorback, a medium-sized vehicle intended for torpedo launch and recovery missions that requires a dry deck shelter and divers for recovery, and the Viperfish, a naval drone with similar capabilities. But the most critical and groundbreaking drone design within the United States Navy is the world's first extra-large unmanned underwater vehicle, or XLUUV. This vision began in the fall of 2017, when the Navy issued a multi-million-dollar contract to Boeing and Lockheed Martin to each develop compelling designs for an XLUUV capable of autonomous operation on missions up to several months at a time. 2 years later, Navy executives announced that Boeing and shipbuilding partner Huntington Ingalls Industries were the chosen winners. In February 2019, the U.S. Navy entrusted the aerospace giant with a $43 million contract to build 4 prototypes of the company's XLUUV, the Orca, with the service ordering a 5th vehicle the following month, scheduled to be delivered in 2022. Boeing's winning design, the Orca extra-large unmanned undersea vehicle, is based on the Echo Voyager, a prototype the company funded and designed for testing purposes only. Design work on the predecessor began in 2011 at Boeing Phantom Works, with the primary goal of improving upon earlier designs that required some level of manned support due to its lacking endurance and range. The model completed its first phase of sea testing in 2017 when it operated off the coast of Southern California, and the lessons the Boeing engineers learned during that process have since been incorporated into the winning design. Despite the inspiration, Boeing's Orca XLUUV is a separate vehicle in its own right. Measuring an impressive 85 feet in length, this diesel-electric submarine is engineered for maximum versatility and endurance in naval operations, as the vehicle can navigate autonomously or be remotely controlled, making it highly versatile for a range of missions. One of the standard features of the Boeing design is its hybrid propulsion system, which combines a diesel engine with modern lithium-ion batteries. With this, the Orca can operate silently beneath the waves, running on battery power that is then recharged by air-breathing diesel generators when near the surface. Utilizing these attributes, the XLUUV can stay at sea for extended periods, cruising at around 3 knots, making it well-suited for long missions. Advanced navigation systems are also one of the critical components of the XLUUV, incorporating cutting-edge technology that enables precise navigation and obstacle avoidance, allowing it to operate efficiently in diverse underwater environments. From the shallow littoral zones near coastlines to the deep depths of the open ocean, the Orca can maneuver confidently and accurately. The Orca's stealthy acoustic signature further allows it to operate undetected, seamlessly blending with the surrounding seascape, ensuring that the vehicle can carry out its missions discreetly without alerting potential adversaries to its presence. The Orca's initial focus is established as a stealthy mine layer during early development. While the role may be perceived as old-fashioned, modern mine laying via underwater drone could become a key offensive role in future conflicts. According to a United States Naval Institute blog written by retired Commander Brian Dulla, the writer proposes to combine the range, autonomy, and flexibility of unmanned underwater vehicles like the Orca with the warhead of a mine. While crewed submarines can carry submarine-launched mobile mines, the Orca would be even more challenging for an enemy to detect. At the moment, the Orca is a prime candidate to carry 2 of the Navy's latest sea mines, the Hammerhead, a torpedo that waits on the seabed, listening for enemy submarines to strike, and the clandestine delivered mine, a cylindrical underwater mine whose capabilities remain in the dark. As with any advanced piece of military technology, the Orca's possibility extends far beyond its initial mission set, and its potential roles have evolved and expanded, capturing the imagination of military strategists and fueling speculation about its future capabilities. Intelligence gathering is another potential role. The Orca could infiltrate enemy territory by leveraging its stealthy design, long-range endurance, and state-of-the-art sensors, collecting vital information about their naval assets and movements. The Orca XLUUV's versatile design also lends itself to anti-submarine warfare. Equipped with advanced sensors and weaponry, the Orca can effectively hunt down and neutralize enemy submarines, serving as a formidable undersea hunter-killer. Its modular construction enables it to carry a wide range of sensors, weapons, and equipment, making it a truly multi-mission platform. Additionally, the Orca's payload bay allows for the integration of vertical launch systems, enabling it to unleash a barrage of cruise missiles against enemy ships, coastal installations, and even inland targets. The development journey of the Orca extra-large unmanned underwater vehicle has not been without its fair share of challenges and setbacks. According to a report from the Government Accountability Office published in 2022, the year the prototypes were set to roll out, the program to develop the unmanned mine-laying submarine was 3 years behind schedule and a whopping $242 million over budget. One of the significant factors contributing to these setbacks was the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to production issues essential to the production of the vehicles, such as a lack of batteries, qualified welders, and titanium. Despite this, the United States Navy is still committed to the Orca XLUUV program, and officials have since changed the tentative delivery window to between February and June 2024 for all 5 vehicles. The latest news on the Orca came in early 2023, when the Navy announced they were preparing to transition its largest unmanned submarine from land-based testing to underwater trials within the next year. The emergence of the Orca has sparked a global race in the development of extra-large unmanned underwater vehicles. While the United States leads the pack, other nations like Britain, Japan, China, Russia, and South Korea are swiftly venturing into this field, eager to secure their positions at the forefront of maritime technology. As these nations forge ahead, Boeing's Orca XLUUV's fate as the world's first vehicle of its kind hangs in the balance.